Hey, what's going on? Ryan here, setthepacetriathlon.com, and I am coming to you from the home office. Not in the basement this time. I'm upstairs in a little office nook, wherever you want to call it. This time, we're talking about Ironman Tulsa, and we were talking about the fact that the athlete guide is out, and I have printed mine out, and I just wanted to go over the highlights of why it's important to actually read through the athlete guides, because it's got a lot of useful information. So, if you looked, the PDF is 55 pages. I did not print out all 55 pages because I'll send you a little secret right now. More than half of the athlete guide is just advertisements. So when I printed out, I went it through and just selected the pages with any kind of pertinent information. So I have it, and I'm going to carry this with me. Basically, I'm going to have it until race day. And after race day, I'll probably chuck it or something like that. But this is kind of your Bible, and just pay attention to the Ironman Tulsa, the official Facebook page, because they can post updates in this thing. Who knows what's going to happen between now and then? Let's all cross our fingers. Nothing changes. Nothing goes out of the way. The map may change a little bit. I know the map for the bike has changed several times since they posted it. I wouldn't sweat that kind of stuff, but pay attention to the page if they have any announcements. Since they posted this, they may update it and try to reissue it. But anyway, so I'm going to go through and kind of point out, this will be Ironman number 8 for me. So I want to point out when I go through this what I'm kind of looking for. So I like to print out the first page because it's kind of nice, it tells you what event is and all that. Race director is going to be important because yours truly, potentially, possibly, we're going to do a Facebook Live for kind of the first timers. So pay attention to your emails, pay attention to Facebook pages. It's going to be a kind of a sign-up deal. So I think it's going to be capped in another people that can actually attend and watch. But potentially I'm going to be talking along with our good race director, Alan Mendez. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see how everything goes. You got to roll with the punches on this stuff. But I like to print this out just so you kind of have a little background information. You know who the race director is. So it's a human being. It's not just some, usually they are not an employee directly of Ironman. Sometimes they're partners and stuff. So just so you know, it's an actual human being. The event schedule, I kind of talked about in the previous video, so I like to print out the event schedule. I've stapled it in there with everything, so you know what's going on, you know where it's at, you know what time it is. Athlete check-in has all the information you want. It has when, where, what to bring, so make sure you got your photo ID. Also, make sure you have your USAT license. Usually, sometimes they ask for that, sometimes not. Now they're trying to get all electronic, so it may not be as pertinent. They got the steps of what you need to do: emergency contact, follow your information. Your packet will not include. Get your athlete wristband. So when you do your check-in, this has all the information you need to be looking for. So that's why I like to get this out of the athlete guide. Pre-race info. So again, this just tells you a little bit more about the whole, a lot of the questions you're seeing on Facebook, people are asking, where do I drop my gear? What am I doing here? What am I doing here? When do I get this? When do I get that? It's all in the athlete guide. And they're, like I said, they're pretty much sticking to this unless they post any kind of updates. So Ironman Village information, mandatory athlete briefing, which is kind of what I'm more involved in, a little bit more about the athlete briefing. They're all going to be on videos, so you can watch it on demand. But that's important information to have. Gear bags. This is nice. This is a little bit different than years past. They've got information: drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off. So all these questions of which bags go where, what do I do with them all? It's in the athlete guide on the gear bags page, and it says what you're using them for. I've done plenty of videos on how to pack your gear bags and everything. You can go through YouTube and find all these, but they have not done this in the past. This is the first time I've seen this in an athlete guide, any race that I've done. And I haven't, last race I did was 2019 Chattanooga. So this is kind of nice. So make sure you read up on this. This is what the bags actually look like. This is what your little name thing is. All that kind of good stuff. It's in the athlete guide, people. Make sure you check that thing out, print it off, have it for later. Race day info, race morning procedure, body marking, aid stations. It's good info to have. It's all in the race packet. All these questions you see on the Facebook pages, it's all answered in the athlete guide. Race day info, race timing cutoff, swim cutoff, bike cutoff, run cutoff, wetsuit optional races. Water temperature, if it doesn't, it looks like we're going to be getting rain here in Kansas City, and we're relatively close to Oklahoma. We're looking at rain until like next Wednesday or Thursday. So if we're getting rain, they're probably getting rain. And I don't think our temperature is really going to get up there. So my guess is going to be wetsuit legal. at least optional. So bring it, and this is just the wetsuit optional rules. Timing chips, all my Ironman track, how to track your athletes, all that good stuff. Post-race info, where to get your bike and gear after the race. Food tip, lost and found. Awards tip, medical area, volunteers, race photography, how to order your pictures, all that good stuff. It's in the athlete guide. And like I said, I went through and just printed off the pages that are pertinent. I did not print off the entire 55 pages of the athlete guide because I don't want to waste my ink, and a lot of it was just advertisements. And let's be honest, I don't really need the advertisements. I already buy enough stuff. Qualifying, if you qualify for the Ironman World Championship, it's in there what you need to do. I believe this year, the allocation process, they're doing an email, trying to keep the crowds down and stuff. But read that if you are anywhere close to qualifying for the Ironman World Championships. Swim map, swim's in there, all information's rolling swim start. So you're going to be self-seating, and we're going to slowly be walking in the water and get started. So no mass swim start. Make sure you know the course. I've done videos on the swim course. Course rules, wetsuit rules, when to bike transitions, swimwear policy. Make sure you wear this. Read this. I did just do a recent video on what you can wear underneath your wetsuit, and typically they will not let you wear compression gear. So make sure you read all that. It's got all the answers. What can I wear a wetsuit? What temperature does the water have to be for this, that, and the other? It's all in the athlete guide. So make sure you read that. The swim start, checklist, prepare for race conditions, race and shorter events. So I've done videos on all this kind of stuff. Probably didn't need to print this page for me, but it'd be nice to have. It's good reading material. Bike course, position rules. So no drafting, all that kind of fun stuff. All the other information, if you get blue cards and yellow cards and time penalties, all that kind of fun stuff. So good information to read through. Cycle Smart checklist. Just kind of your general, riding your bike kind of information. Turn-by-turn directions for the bike course. Now, let's not get all caught up in the fact that they've changed the course a couple of times and some information has changed. If this doesn't match up exactly, don't sweat it too much. Unless you're at the pointy end of the beginning of the race and you're out there in first place, the turns are going to be pretty well marked. People are going to be telling you where to go, and there's going to be other athletes to follow. So don't get too wrapped up if the turn-by-turn isn't exactly right. Now, if you go out and you drive the course before the race, it might kind of throw you off a little bit, but just bring your GPS so you don't get lost, so you can find your way back to your hotel or anything. So this is the bike course. So notice it is a point-to-point. So hopefully you read the athlete guide and understand the information about multiple transition races. The bus to get there, I believe the race morning stuff is in here. So this is the bike course. Learn it, love it. Bike course information. All the rules for the bike course. So that's good stuff to have. Continuation of bike rules. Maybe I turned this page twice. I don't know. Bike store and tech. So if you've got bike issues, they've got information on who's going to be there available to work on your bike if you need it at the last minute. They've got wheel rentals. When I print that out, you never know. You get there and you find out maybe one of your wheels has a busted spoke or something like that. It might be good information to have if you need to maybe rent some wheels. Run course. Finish line policy, make sure you're reading that. Things have probably changed because of COVID. They're probably not allowing spectators at the finish. Now, this has recently changed. Here in Kansas City, they've loosened up restrictions as far as gathering for outdoor events. Now, Ironman may not change these rules that they've had in the past. They may have. So just make sure you're paying attention to any athlete briefings or any information. They may just leave it all the same because they don't want to mess with any changing and cause any confusion or anything like that. So make sure you read through the run course, the finish line area, and all the information and the safe return to sport that they published. So this is the turn-by-turn directions. It's fairly straightforward for the run course. I don't think they really changed it because you're running along the river walk, and it's pretty much down, back, down, back. Pretty straightforward. When I was down there for work, I've run that Riverwalk area several times. It's a nice paved trail, plenty of room for going each way for traffic and stuff. It should be pretty awesome. There's trees there for shade if you're out there in the sun. It is a little bit breezy. It can be breezy because you're right along that river, and that is a very wide river, and there is no protection if there's wind out there. Overall rules. So just the general rules, cameras, phones, headphones, all that kind of good stuff are in here. So make sure you're reading over the rules. You got your violations. So don't have any violations. chin strap on on your helmet when you exit the transition, race number, littering, don't litter, unauthorized equipment, outside assistance, all that kind of good stuff. Make sure you read the rules. First we ask questions, bib list, get my active code, what does a group race in, what should be their problem with my race timing, all that kind of good stuff. They have a nice little checklist so you can print that off. I have several checklists that I've thrown out there and stuff, so if you need that information, just let me know. So that's the general. I just wanted to go through and kind of share what I go through and print off from the athlete guide. I'm just trying to look through real quick. There is, I believe, race morning information. I think I printed it out. Athlete check-in, pre-race info, gear bags. Yeah, race day info. So race morning procedure. So this talks, make sure you print this page off. Print it off. Race day info. This tells you all the stuff, all the information about the shuttles. You will drop off your personal needs bag in Ironman Village and get on the shuttle to head up T1. Remember to bring your tiny chip, wetsuit, mask required, shuttle, bike technicians, blah, blah, blah. You will not be permitted in transition on race day without your wristband, blah, blah, blah. So I just want to go to the shuttle because a lot of people are asking me, hey, can I get up? Can I get dropped off at the swim start? So what I'm looking at is the event schedule. So mandatory athlete only shuttle. No race day athlete parking. So when they put this in the schedule, it says mandatory shuttle. I'm thinking when you get there at that swim start, and let me see if I can find that swim map real quick while I'm talking about it. When you get there, I think you're going to have a tough time. Like this map probably doesn't do it justice. I would imagine there's probably one road in, one road out. It's probably not very accessible. They're probably going to block it off at a certain point and not let any vehicles in. So you might be looking at a long walk if you think someone's going to drop you off. So make sure you check the maps, check the information, and ask the question. And maybe I'll kind of ping anybody I'm talking to during the athlete briefing or whatever. I would say don't count on being dropped off at the race start and going in and just walking over to the swim start area. I'm worried that I'm thinking of 70.3 Boulder and the reservoir. They used to shut off the street that when you go down to the reservoir. Now they've changed it so the run course doesn't mess with that, the bike course doesn't, so you can actually drive down there and park. But it was probably over a mile walk to get from where they would cut off the road to where you went down to get into the reservoir. So just be aware, if you think on race day you're just going to get dropped off to the swim start, I would kind of rethink about that and analyze where you would get dropped off, because they will probably shut these roads down into this area because they don't want traffic in there, because once you're on the bikes, they don't want cars on the road, and especially in these little parks area and stuff like that and little roads. So I think that's the main key. Just check that out for race morning if you think you're going to get dropped off and not ride the mandatory shuttles. I'm going to ride the shuttles. I would plan on riding the shuttles. So that's it. That's why I wanted to talk about really quick, is just going through, making sure, print off the athlete guide, print it off, take it with you, save it on your phone, whatever, have it readily accessible. Like I said, I didn't print off all the pages because over half of it was advertisements. I just printed off the pages that I need, and I'm keeping this with me pretty much until race day, and it'll probably be stuffed in a bag somewhere and come back with me, and I'll probably throw it away when I get home. So that's it. That's all I want to go through. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. I'll be glad to answer it. I'm going to post this up on YouTube too, so if you want to watch it, just goes through and just talking about what I think you need to pay attention to in this athlete guide. So hopefully that helps you out. Happy training, everybody. Let's cross our fingers for no rain, no thunderstorms, no nothing. Keep on training. We'll see you on race day.